mic up. This is legacy emotion. For vision of victory, trailblazing the path. Mind sharp, words heavy, every bar got class. Iconic by nature, pioneer by design. History in the making every time she aligns. Doctorate dreams, but the roots run deep. Built from the grind, now the whole world speaks. Culture, purpose, power when she steps in the room. Drop gems so real, make the future zoom. Yeah.
This is iconic pioneers. Hear the story unfold, where the fearless lead and the truth gets told. Every voice legendary, every lesson precise. Often with wisdom, Dr. Tabitha Russell on the mic. Press play. Stay ready. The movement starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Iconic Pioneers podcast, where extraordinary visionaries, disruptors, and pioneers reveal the raw truths, game-changing strategies, and bold mindset shifts behind their stories, right? Beyond their excellence. This show isn't for the faint of heart, but it's for those building leadership, luxury, and legacy on their own terms. So today, I have the opportunity to be here with Mr. John Topper. Can I just say that he is super amazing, and he has taken the world by storm with his comeback ready framework. You're going to hear it here first from him, okay? Mr. John Topper, it's so amazing to have you here on today. Welcome in.
Well, thank you, Dr. Tabitha. It's an honor and pleasure to be here with you.
Awesome.
It really is.
Thank you. So tell me, because I want to get right into this, right? I'm super excited for this interview on today. What does it mean by being an iconic leader to you personally? And I want you to share with everybody who you are, what you do, and about being an iconic leader.
Well, I'll start with what I do. I'm still in the military. I have 31 years of combined service, 11 years Air Force, now the last 20 years in the Army. I'm a lieutenant colonel. Not that that's who I am, but that's been part of the journey.
Yes.
And I'm set to retire October 1st. So my wife and I were excited about that, to see what this next chapter is going to look like. And over the last year, I've written a book.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud to say it's an Amazon bestseller.
Yes.
Thank you. It's called Wrestling with Destiny. And that's my story. But then from that story, Dr. Tabitha, I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote a companion guide called The 7 Principles to the Comeback Ready Life. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Sorella Herbin, who I'm sure you know and some of the listeners know, has helped me put that book together. So I like to say Wrestling with Destiny is my story. The 7 Principles to the Comeback Ready Life is what I learned from my own story. And now I just want everyone who reads these books to see them as playbooks for how they too are made for their own comebacks in life, and understand that they have what it takes within them to lead themselves to where God intends them to be in their lives. And as far as iconic leadership is concerned, I believe it ties in to that, Dr. Tabitha, where it's very important that we understand who we are and what we bring to the table, because we're special. There's only one you, and our stories can be used as tremendous gifts in order to help others with their lives and become better leaders. Self-leadership, I think, is so important. I know we'll get into some of this throughout our podcast today, but we have this terrible habit of speaking negatively to ourselves. We wouldn't allow other people to talk to us the way we talk to ourselves sometimes.
That's
so
right.
I think in order to be iconic, we have to first learn how to see ourselves the way we need to. And that's special, celebrate our own life, celebrate our own stories, and see how they can become gifts for others and serve other people in that capacity. So,
Oh, I love it. I love it. Guys, can y'all hear the passion in his voice on today? He is absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for sharing about your new book that's coming out, The 7 Steps to a
yes,
Comeback Ready Life. That is absolutely just amazing. And yes, I am, just really convinced that when we lead with heart in our leadership roles, because a lot of us have the ability to affect a lot of people just based upon our positioning, right? So, really taking leadership to heart, doing it with truth and authenticity, man, that has to be at the forefront of what it is that we do. So, tell me about a defining moment when you realized that you weren't built to follow the crowd, because I understand that you have really gone through the ranks as far as the military is concerned. So you probably have seen a lot of things over the years. So share with us what's been the moment for you.
I'm going to go way back, Dr. Tabitha, to before my military journey began, because
Okay.
it truly was a defining moment for me. I often call defining moments crossroads as
Yes.
well.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't forget, as a young man who had dropped out of college 1 year prior, and
Mm.
I'm now down in Florida from Pennsylvania, just trying to figure out life.
Okay. Okay.
And I went to an ATM machine just to
Mm.
get $20 out. I was
Mm-hmm.
hungry, just needed 20 bucks. Entered my PIN, waited, and I'll never forget what I saw.
Mm.
Transaction denied.
Mm.
So I checked my balance, and I'll never forget what that said.
Mm-hmm.
18 cents.
Wow.
So I had 18 cents to my name.
Mm.
And I look back to that moment. I also think of the cameras, right, on these
Mm-hmm.
ATMs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, hey, if anybody's looking at me right now, they're thinking
Mm.
this fool,
Mm.
not today, buddy. Just laughing at me in the background.
Right.
But I won't forget where my mindset went. It
Mm.
wasn't so much to why is this happening? It was what's my next step?
Right.
What's my next step? And that to me is a mantra for where I believe we should all have our mind as we
Mm-hmm.
have setbacks or hit those crossroads in life, to think of what's next instead of
Mm-hmm.
why is this happening to me? I'm stuck, you know.
Yeah.
But that point, and I've had many points like that, and I know we've all had moments like that, was a real setup for me in terms of moving forward on this journey in life. And
Mm-hmm.
I won't forget it, because that's where it really all began in terms of this journey of figuring out what is next for me, taking that one step at a time and finding it so interesting in reflection
Mm-hmm.
to see how that path has changed up over the years. But again, it's all about taking that next step, whether it's messy or not,
Mm-hmm.
just do it. Just
That's
do
right.
it. Yeah.
That is
So that's
so,
a little bit I had to share. Um, yes.
yeah, no, I think that that's beautiful. That became a defining moment for you, because I went through something similar from the standpoint of me making one decision, getting into a partnership, losing $500,000
Mhm.
and losing everything, the house, the cars, all the things. And my sons were babies at the time, they were little. And so that became a defining moment for me as well, from the standpoint of it was like this would never happen again. Like, I left corporate America to set out on my own for entrepreneurship and thought I had it all together and figured out. But one thing that I did know was that I had to do something fast and turn it around, right? Like, that became a very pivotal moment in time, because I couldn't afford to just stop, right? I have
Right.
mouths to
Right.
feed, babies to take care of, all of that. So I like to say, though, that those moments is what makes us, right? That becomes a part of our testimony. So one of the first books I wrote was I divorced my money and married my mindset,
Mm,
right? Because I believe mindset is everything. Like
yes.
you can see a bad situation, a challenge, but today I said challenge those challenges so that
Hmm.
you become stronger going through it than trying to avoid it and go around it. So I also know that every leader faces some sort of resistance along that pathway. So, what's one obstacle that almost broke you along the way, and how did you overcome it? Like, I know the ATM moment became that defining moment. I'm sure that you probably have a whole list of stories
I do.
in
I
there.
do. I
So,
do.
share with us that one that almost broke you.
Now we'll fast forward
Okay.
a number of years to um, whenever I lost my job as a human
Mm-hmm.
resources director. Now, to frame this, this is between
Mm-hmm.
getting out of the Air Force in 1999 and then one day returning to the Army in 2006. So I want to frame it first.
Okay.
So I'm still trying to figure things out,
Mm-hmm.
make my own way, so to speak. My daughter Kaylee was a sophomore in high school at the time. I was back in my hometown of Bedford, Pennsylvania, a small rural town where there wasn't a lot to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and unless you were an attorney or a doctor or something professional, I mean, you were going to work in a factory
Mm-hmm.
type
Mm-hmm.
deal.
Right.
Well, I mean, I felt that, I had a pretty good position as a human resources director in the General Motors industry. And if you remember, those listening, remember where General Motors was in the early
Mhm.
2000s. It was a tough period of time. And it
That's
wasn't
right.
just in Detroit, Michigan, it was all
Mm-hmm.
over. So here I was, human resources director, feeling pretty good. And then all at once, boom, we can't afford to keep you. Basically, all support positions, we were laid off.
Yeah.
So here I am with my daughter, single parent at the time, of course. Um, and like you just said, Dr. Tabitha, you got to figure things out. You got to
Mm-hmm.
make it neat. So I ended up, I didn't want to sell cars. That was an option. Didn't want to do that. So I ended up going to a warehouse, Recreational Equipment Incorporated, REI.
Mm-hmm.
I got a job there. I coached football, coached wrestling. Dr.
Mm.
Tabitha, I even delivered pizza.
All right now.
Papa John's. But you do what you have to do. It
Absolutely.
wasn't about staying stuck. It was, what do I need to do to keep my daughter here where she
Mm-hmm.
wants to be? She really wanted to graduate from high school where her daddy did.
Mm.
So what's amazing, and I know I'm going back and forth a little, but what's neat about those experiences, even though they're hard, we don't realize what we're teaching our children
That's right.
through those times. And to this day, she still looks at me and thanks me for doing what I've done. And she said, Dad, not that degrees are everything. Please
Mm-hmm.
don't think I'm saying that. But here you were, Dad, you had a bachelor's degree, a graduate degree, and you were delivering pizza. But I said, well, honey, I told you I would do everything I had to do to keep
Right.
us in Bedford until I knew it was time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, that's too when God told me, you need to go back into the military. You've got
Mm-hmm.
this 10 years, 9 months of Air Force time in your hip pocket. I'm proud of you for what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
But he was setting me up for another chapter, another
Mm-hmm.
future, if you will.
Right.
And then it became the United States Army, but that's another story. Sometimes people say I'm a decent storyteller, but I think I tend to drag them out a little bit. And, I don't want to kill the entire time today. But that's another big moment, big experience for me, Dr. Tabitha, that I just don't forget. That set that new stage, that new framework for what's next.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And no, absolutely. Please share because I'm sure that um, with you sharing that, it allows the listeners, though, to be able to see that all of these moments when
Mhm.
you're trying to figure things out, that first of all, having the courage to try something new and something different, right,
Yeah,
is everything. And taking all the excuses off the table, right? When I
yeah,
tell people the list of things that I've done, yes, I did do the car sales for a while. I
yeah,
was a store manager for a huge automotive chain. I was a store manager for a jewelry store. I have
yeah.
managed call centers. I mean, it's a lot
Oh,
when you're trying to feed the family, right?
there is. And there's humility behind all of this, right?
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think of that word. I now view that as the greatest character trait. But by staying humble, you
Mhm.
allow God,
Mhm.
well, I'll say it this way. You enable yourself to see God
That's
open
right.
doors. And
Mhm.
you may not, it may not be clean. Some of these
Mhm.
steps we take are a little messy. Like,
Right.
I didn't really want to sell, deliver pizza.
Mhm.
But again, whatever it takes to continue to move forward. And then the people we meet by taking the steps we take in life,
Right.
we wouldn't have met some of these people
Mhm.
or had some of these experiences had it not been for making those choices we made, even when it meant doing something we didn't really want to do,
That's
because
right.
it's not about us.
Right.
Not always about us. It's about our family. It's about doing what we need to do to grow. And I like to say we're not who we are in spite of all of these things. We're who
Mhm.
we are because of it.
That's right. That's right. I absolutely love it. Your humility shows through, though, that you have made that a part of your life's design, right? A part of your lifestyle. So I will say, kudos to you for doing that, because in the Word of God it talks about our steps being ordered by Him, and in order for us to reach that level of humility, sometimes that means that we'll follow a level of obedience that is outside of things that we would normally do,
Absolutely.
right? But
Absolutely.
it leads us into all truth. So tell me this, how do you balance building wealth and influence and impact without sacrificing your authenticity?
Without sacrificing my authenticity. Let me say, first of all, that was not an easy thing for John Topper
Mm,
to realize.
mhm,
Authenticity, as you'll learn more and more about me if you choose to read the book,
mhm, mhm,
was something that I masked pretty
mm.
often. So I'm going to take a different spin here, Dr.
Okay.
Tabitha.
Okay.
I'll go the other way in terms of what I was doing to make it,
Mhm.
quote unquote, while not being as authentic as I
Mm.
could have been. And it was through that wonderful word performance.
Mhm.
Okay. Society's had that way, right? With all of us,
Mhm.
where, we do have to perform in
Right.
order to get somewhere.
Right.
We're graded on things in school. We have
Mhm.
evaluations at work, military, what have you. Sports were big for me. So it was about performance there. You want to
Right.
win.
Right.
So God blessed me, I'll say it that way, with some gifts that did allow me to get the A if I needed the
Mm.
A,
Right.
to get that win in wrestling. I was talented enough, gifted enough that when I performed, I was good enough.
Nice.
Now, that's great, but it becomes dangerous over time. And I see you laughing because you know where
Mhm.
I'm going with this. At
Mhm.
some point, it's draining as well.
Yeah.
You try
Yeah.
to perform, gain validation through other people. I feel that I suffered from approval addiction, to be quite frank.
Wow.
Um, Codependency set in relationships. It showed up as wanting to rescue a woman I was with or
Mm.
continue to want to please her, even if it meant sacrificing who I really was to make
Yeah.
myself right for her.
Got
So
you.
I'm throwing a lot at you, Dr. Tabitha, and the
Mm-hmm.
audience, but I
Mm-hmm.
do want to take this time for everyone to understand authenticity was not always an easy thing for me. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until I surrendered,
Mm-hmm.
which is, the opposite of the way we want to think when it comes to
Yeah.
performance. No,
Yeah.
I'm weak. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do this anymore because it isn't working. So
Mm-hmm.
now it's time, even though I knew about God from my upbringing and all
Mm-hmm.
my life, I knew to fall back on him. I didn't take time to truly establish a relationship with him. And it wasn't until I surrendered that
Mm-hmm.
peace, where it was like, hey, who cares? Let it
Mm-hmm.
go. And
Yeah.
now I'm happy to say that through all my struggles, and particularly in relationships, marriage, I have a wife now who can look at me and say, the main reasons I love you,
Mm-hmm.
your transparency, you are who you
Mm-hmm.
are,
Yeah.
and you're consistent
Mm-hmm.
in what you do and what you say. And it nearly brings a tear to my eye saying that, because that's what I was robbing myself of throughout my life. And I can
Mm-hmm.
only be thankful and grateful that God allowed me to get as far as I got
Mm-hmm.
while like compromising a
Mm-hmm.
lot of who I am. Grateful for the successes, grateful for those high points. I wished I'd have appreciated them even more
Mm-hmm.
than I did at the time. And I think
Yeah.
some of the reason I didn't is because of what I said leading to this, up to this point. I was just stressing myself to continue to, okay, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. I got
Mm-hmm.
this, I got this, I got this. And
Mm-hmm.
again, it's a blessing and a curse, right? There is something to be said for continuing to push.
Right.
There's good lessons for all of us to learn that, embrace the hard, push through, push through, push through. You'll come out the other side. But at some point, my Christian faith is what I want to fall back to, and the message I want to deliver to all, that he's always there and
That's right.
he's ready to guide you and lead you, and he'll bring you out stronger when you finally say, I'm weak. This
That's
is
right.
enough for me. I heard a wonderful message the other day, Dr. Tabitha, and it tied into performance. We tend to think that we need to do things for God.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
to say that we shouldn't,
Right.
but what can we really do for him?
Mm-hmm.
He's already done all that needs to be done for us. So that was huge for me. We get these little wake up calls, right, that are unexpected. And I didn't
Right.
know I was going to share that today, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's key in understanding that all he asks us to do is be with him,
Mm-hmm.
surrender and be with him. Understand he loves us no more or no less, regardless of what we do or don't do.
That's right.
So I'm now focusing on that, meditating,
Mm.
because that's something I've struggled with throughout my life with the performance thing. So
Mm.
I wanted to share that. I felt led to share it, that it's
Yeah.
not about doing something for him.
Mm-hmm.
Allow him to work through us, be present with him
That's right.
in order
That's
that we
right.
become
Mm-hmm.
our authentic self and better
Oh
leaders
yeah.
as well.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Um, I know that we're living in a time now where um, being the living, breathing, walking, talking epistle of the Lord is needed more so than anything. Like we're literally the only Bibles that some people will ever read.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so taking the time to be able to share that story, share that relationship is everything. So tell me this, though. What's a myth about leadership or success that you believe needs to be dismantled immediately?
That you have to attain a certain position
Mm-hmm.
in the military, a certain rank,
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
order to be a leader. That's a myth that I definitely believe needs to be dismissed, because with that comes the word identity.
Mm-hmm.
And all too often, we can lose ourselves
Mm.
in line of, oh, I need to be at this position. I need to attain this rank in order to be someone, or to answer your question, to be
Mm-hmm.
a leader. And leadership starts in the way in which we treat other people. Our actions speak volumes for leadership, and
Mm-hmm.
that's regardless of our title or our rank. You mentioned
That's right.
earlier how we can have influence on people just through the way we are, just through the way we talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll follow that. They'll follow your actions. It doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
whether you're the CEO, the executive director, the general in the army, or higher ranking officer, higher ranking non-commissioned officer. That doesn't matter because we've had those quote unquote leaders by virtue of their position where we wouldn't want to follow them
Mm-hmm.
because of the way they talk to other people,
Right.
their behaviors.
That's right.
So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. That's a myth. And it's not rocket science, right? We've heard that before. We've read it before.
Mhm.
That's not, shouldn't be tied
Yeah.
to leadership, but it still is. It still is. And
Mm.
that this whole thing with comparison. Comparison, I
Right.
think, it's always been, but it's worse today because of all like the social
Mm-hmm.
media platforms, etc. We want what someone else has. We want I want that position. I want their
Yeah.
money. We lose sight of what's most important, and that's focus on who you're becoming on
Right.
this journey. And God's given you everything you need in order to be
Mm-hmm.
that leader within your home. How about
That's
let's
right.
start right there? Let's start with who we can influence on a daily basis to be a great leader and the
Mm-hmm.
legacy we can leave off of that. How do you want to really be remembered?
Right.
How do
Right.
you
That
want to
is
be remembered?
beautiful.
Um,
Yeah.
so, without a doubt, the whole position, title, how much money you make, let's just make that a myth
Yeah.
because you can't take all of that with you. And
True.
I already know when I get out of the Army October 1st,
Mm-hmm.
the Army goes rolling along, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's
That's
help
true.
other people. Let's help others get to where they need to be. That
Right.
if we're helping other people get to where they want to be, I have no doubt God will take care of me and my family. And that's
Oh,
where I'm at in my
absolutely.
life. That's where I'm at in my life.
Yeah.
Surrendering to Him, allowing Him to use my story, use my journey as a way to truly lead through service. So
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
on
I
that
love
tangent
that.
there, Dr. But
I love it. Well,
yeah,
first of all, I definitely want to say thank you for your service if I haven't said so already, because just knowing the level of humility you have at the rank that you've been able to achieve, right? It is definitely a part of the journey. I know along the way, though, that your success leaves clues. So, what daily habits or rituals keep you operating at an iconic level, though?
first thing I focus on every morning is what I
Mhm.
call winning the first 30 minutes.
Mhm.
I don't allow for distractions. I don't
Mhm.
pick up my phone right away. That
Mhm.
the first thing I do is share gratitude
Mhm.
for a new day.
Yes.
And I invite God into my day.
Mhm.
And I'll say this right now, Dr. Tabitha, if you have to write things down,
Mhm.
please do. I
Mhm.
had to in the beginning. When
Right.
you're trying to change the old version of yourself into something new, whatever you need to do to remind yourself of these things, please do it. Uh,
Right.
so I had something written down too that I have everything I need.
Mm.
God has given me everything I need to start from where I am,
Mhm.
do what I need to do, and use what I have, and be grateful for that. So right away, you're not starting your day in lack,
Right.
starting your day in fullness,
Mhm.
and the rest of your day often tends to follow the way you begin it.
That's right.
Celebrate your small victories. Understand that when you make the choice to do something simple like making your bed,
Mm-hmm.
making breakfast for your family, these
Mm-hmm.
are choices. Get out of that habit of saying, I have to do something. I have to
Mm-hmm.
get up. I have to make breakfast for my family.
Right.
Uh, have to make my bed. No,
Mm-hmm.
choose to.
That's right.
Get to, I choose to. However you want
Mm-hmm.
to say it. That's
Right.
empowering. These are things that
Right.
you can do right away in the morning
Mm-hmm.
that can make you feel better about John, can make you feel better about Dr. Tabitha. You know, these are choices I'm making to ensure that this day gets off to a good start. So,
Mm-hmm.
without a doubt, how you start to me is the most important part in terms of leading yourself and others through your day.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I call that a part of my non-negotiables, right? Like me having the opportunity to spend that devotional time to practice
Yes.
gratitude,
Another
man,
point,
that
yes.
is game changing, right? Like gratitude in itself allows you to not have a bad day,
That's
right?
right.
There's some days that can be unfavorable,
Yes.
but because I choose to practice gratitude, oh, it's a
Amen.
good day, right?
Amen.
Regardless, because
Yes.
whatever that obstacle, that challenge is, there's a lesson in it. And it
Yes.
allows me to be able to take that away. There
Yes.
also, so I love how you frame that. Um, what's one of the boldest risks that you've taken in your career, and how did it reshape your trajectory?
I think the boldest risk I took was at the very beginning of my Army career
Mm-hmm.
when I walked into the Army recruiter's office, not having any idea what the Army was like.
Mm-hmm.
I remind you in the audience, I had 10 years, 9 months Air Force.
Right.
And because I had an undergraduate degree, they asked me immediately. This is 2006. This is
Mm-hmm.
during the heat of the war, and the Army needed officers. And they said, hey, you need to be an officer. You've got a degree. We need you. I would say a risk I took off the
Mm-hmm.
top was saying no to that.
Oh wow.
So even though I had left the Air Force as an E6, because I had 7.5 years out, I was an E4 now, only by
Mm-hmm.
virtue of having a degree, because
Mm-hmm.
I chose to not become an officer right away.
Right.
And that did become a risk. Um, but God had his way. And it was after I went to basic training. Yes, I went to basic training again. And I was 39 or 40 years old at the time.
Oh wow.
And it was during that time, I was like, you know what? Maybe I do have life experiences and leadership qualities to go ahead and become an officer.
Right.
So once I left basic, I immediately went to the retention NCO and I said, hey, look, what's this about a direct commission? I'd like to
That's
direct
right.
commission as an officer in the United States Army Reserve. So I started that process. It became a semi risk again, in that 3 months after I submitted the packet,
Mm-hmm.
I got what's called SRP'd, which basically means you're pre-alerted to deploy.
Mm,
Now set to deploy with an MP battalion out of Chambersburg, Pennsylvania to Camp Bucca, Iraq.
wow.
I'm like, oh wow, John, you've really made this difficult on on yourself. Just
Yeah.
keep plugging away, keep churning along. I'm already thinking I've got that packet means nothing now. I'll have to redo this next year. But um, amazingly enough, about 4 months later into pre-deployment training, my commander called me into his office and he's like, hey, what are you doing here? He
Right.
even used a profane word that I won't. And I felt my face turn red and I said, well, sir, I'm on orders to deploy with your unit.
Yeah.
He said, I know that. Again,
Mhm.
why are you here?
Yeah.
I gave him the same answer. And then he swung this packet in front of my face.
Mhm.
He said, why didn't you tell me about this? He said, well,
Mhm.
I didn't want to be that soldier who was trying to beg to get out of a deployment.
Yeah.
He liked that answer.
Mhm.
2 months later, he had already had a replacement. He blessed off on
Mm.
my direct commission packet. And then in February 2008, I became a second lieutenant. probably the biggest promotion anyone would ever see, from E4 to
Yeah.
O1.
Yeah.
But I just take everyone back to the very beginning where, yeah, it was a risk to say, I don't want to be an officer right now. I don't know the Army. And I
Right.
chose to come in as an E4, which was
Right.
humbling.
Yeah.
But it was all part of my story, right?
Mm-hmm.
It turned
Mm-hmm.
out to be the right decision, even though I looked at it as risky at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be where I am today
Right.
if it hadn't been for taking that one. And that
Yeah.
may not be as big a risk as people were expecting to hear, even you were expected to hear, but you know, it's
It's a part of
it's
the journey, but
part of the
I
journey.
love though that you chose to take a different path initially, right? And
Yeah,
that is a risk in itself from the standpoint of knowing that you have this bigger positioning waiting for you because you did some work in the background and you didn't
yeah,
just sit on your laurels, right? And take that up. So that's a big testimony in itself, but it all
yeah,
worked out, right? Like God I believe that He puts the right people in place at the right time that helps us to get to where it is that He really is trying to get us to go. So that in itself is amazing. But for those who listening who feel led, who felt called to lead rather, but question their power, what's your message to them?
to question their power.
Yeah, so
That
they're basically they feel like they're being called to lead, to take a bigger role in leadership, but they question their ability to be able to do so. What would be your messaging to them?
mm, my first message is to reflect,
Hmm.
reflect on your journey to this point,
Yeah.
because I think it's something we all need to do more and give
Mhm.
ourselves more credit.
Right.
Whatever fears and doubts are creeping into your mind, and first of all, I look at those as the two cancers of the human spirit, fear and
Hmm.
doubt. But look at
Hmm.
what you've already come through, because I can assure you, you have things to look at that you should feel good about and think, hey, if I got through that, if I
Hmm.
pushed through that hard, then I can certainly push through this. And I'll give you 4 words as well. Regardless of what's happened, begin to say to yourself, I'll do it anyways.
Hmm.
Or as Will Smith once said, if you can't overcome that fear, do it scared.
That's right.
Just do it. Just
Right.
do it. You got to start to remind yourself of uh, where you've been, feel good about where you are, and then do what's necessary to become stronger tomorrow than you are today. You know,
That's
so
right.
I think reflection is big to gain that confidence that we need in order to propel ourselves forward for a bigger position or whatever it is. Uh,
I
that's
love it. I
advice.
love it. No, that's beautiful. So this has been absolutely amazing today. Like you have really given some thought-provoking information for our listeners. Finally, how can the audience connect with you? Because first of all, I'm getting the books. Okay, I am going to
Oh,
read them
great!
because I can't wait.
Thank
But
you.
then I
Yes,
know that the audience wants to find out what the books are, how they can get them, and then how they can connect with you.
sure. So with the books, they're on Amazon.
Okay.
Okay. First book's called Wrestling with Destiny. And again,
Yes.
that's my memoir.
Okay.
And now this second book is called The Seven Principles of, it'll launch in May. So
Okay.
just be looking out for that one. But
Awesome.
yeah, they're on Amazon. And as far as being able to reach me, um, I'm on Facebook and I'm on LinkedIn. Just look up my name, John Topper, and you're going to find me on LinkedIn and Facebook. I do have a website coming. It's called the Comeback Ready Life, comebackreadylife.com. Okay.
Yes.
Um, but not there yet.
Okay.
But other than that, that's the best way to reach out to me. Dr. Tabitha right now is Facebook and LinkedIn.
Okay.
I'll give you
I
my
love
email.
it.
I'll put it out there.
Okay.
johntopper23@comebackreadylife.com.
I love it. Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure today. I am so excited that I had the opportunity to interview you and to just talk about your journey. Congratulations again on your upcoming retirement. That is huge. Thank you so much for your years of service. This has definitely been amazing. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the Iconic Pioneers podcast, where we don't just build brands, we build blueprints for generations. Remember, icons aren't born. They're built by those bold enough to lead unapologetically. Until next time, keep leading, keep building, and keep breaking every limitation. Mr. John, thank you so much for being here on today. It has been a pleasure.
Well, thank you for having me, Dr. Tabitha. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you.
This is Iconic Pioneers. Hear the story unfold, where the fearless lead and the truth gets told. Every voice legendary, every lesson precise. Often with wisdom, Dr. Tabitha Russell on the mic. Press play. Stay ready. The movement starts now.